What is up, everybody? We're Rolling Audio here today on episode 47 of The Hotter Show. How you doing? I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic weekend so far. Thank you so much for tuning in and clicking that play button on part 2 of my kind of high school slash when we were younger, so to speak, conversation with my good friends, Mr. Brandon Bowden and Mr. Garrett Coles. It was an absolute blast to do, and I appreciate you tuning in for the second half, letting me come into your home, your car, your gym, your work, your place of business, however you're listening, wherever you are listening. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope that you get a kick out of this part 2 conversation. I know a lot of people dug the part 1. A lot of actually old friends from high school who I haven't really talked to in a little while actually messaged me and were like, "Oh, dude, this was hilarious. Like, we remember some of this stuff and blah, 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 blah." And so it was really cool. I'm glad that the people who listened in high school and that enjoyed it. There were a couple people I would have maybe liked to actually have on for that discussion. But unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts and things of that nature, it was not able to happen. In this part 2 of the conversation, Garrett, Brandon, and myself talk all about a little incident that happened in high school, which Garrett refers to as the Battle of the Bros, which was, of course, between myself and Brandon. We would get into that. It was over a girl, of course, isn't it always? And then we get to talk in depth about our old MySpace/Facebook page band, Quarterstone. So that is very fun. Very, very cool to walk down memory lane with those guys. It was a blast. Of course, after that, we talk about a little bit about graduation and finishing up high school, a little bit about prom, and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoy this part 2 conversation. I had a blast making it. Just real quick, I, of course, want to give a shout out to my man, Mr. Jason Reese, over at Jaybird Digital Arts. You guys know how much I love his stuff, and you guys know, if you have accepted my invite, if I was able to invite you on Facebook to the Hotter Show 50th live cast, you guys saw the new banner, the new profile picture, and all that kind of thing for it. Jason did all that for me. He did it pretty dang quick as well, and he did for an awesome price. And it is an awesome design. He really went out of his way to make sure it was very different from the last one, so I really appreciate that. I dig the electrified look kind of he got going for it, so definitely be sure to check him out, guys, if you need anything digital media related, any logos, t-shirts, anything of that nature. He does it all, and he does it great. You can find him on the web at www.jaybird, that's JAYBIRD, digitalarts.ca. You can also find him on Facebook, on Twitter. I think he's got an Instagram as well, all under Jaybird Digital Arts. Again, that's www.jaybird, JAYBIRD, digitalarts.ca. All right, without further ado, we are going to roll into this podcast here with Brandon and Garrett, the Isn't High School Awkward Part 2. Let's get into it. We're back. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday now.
Sunday now. It's still the same day, but it's Sunday. Shut up. It can't be Sunday, probably.
It can't be Sunday, probably.
Time travel's a bitch.
We time traveled over here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still, of course, hanging out with my good buddies, Mr. Garrett Coles and Mr. Brandon Bowden.
Why are we still here?
I've been trapped here for days now.
Why are you guys still in my fucking house? Get out.
We stayed over the night just so we thought we were going to do the podcast.
Woke up in your basement, chained to the wall.
I've had them trapped here since Thursday.
He hasn't fed us.
I haven't. You fat ass need to lose the weight. I've just been eating food in front of them.
Yeah, when you came down with that bowl of spaghetti, I was kind of pissed. It's just a bad time.
Came back with McDonald's the one time.
I'm Italian. I saw the spaghetti. I was like, oh, whatever. I'll take it out.
Oh, you cut it with a fork and a knife? What are you, a madman? Fucking serial killer.
Goddamn serial killers cutting their past up with forks and knives.
God damn it. All right, so
Part 2
of the high school podcast here on The Hotter Show. Covered a lot of stuff in part 1. Crushes in early high school.
Audrey Hepburn,
all kind of bullshit. And today, I want to cover specifically two things I want to talk about.
The Battle of the Bros.
The Battle of the Bros is that's a very good name, Garrett.
Because I'm outside.
And
I'm on the outside.
we are also going to talk about.
I'm looking in.
We are also going to talk about. That segues quite nicely, actually. We are also going to talk about something the three of us were involved in. Mm-hmm. That is accumulating the legendary godlike status. We'll get to that in a little bit.
The urban myth.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Damn it, Simba.
Simba's here as well. He's rubbing against Garrett.
Freaking cat.
Hey, you're fine. Calm down.
This guy's allergic.
It's gonna break out in hemorrhoids.
So, oh god.
Should we start with the Battle of the Bros?
Let's start with the Battle of Bros. Now, let's set the scene here. There was a girl
Yes.
who looked like a man that I met in February of last year. No, but seriously. Yeah. No, she looked like a man. That kind of started to come out wrong. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to insult anybody, even though I don't really care.
Someone who wasn't like genuinely attracted to said girl from the Battle of the Bros. She wasn't that bad looking.
No.
She was cute.
She must have been cute because I had a thing for her, and like, I'm extremely shallow.
Extremely shallow.
Extremely
I
shallow.
bring to the attention of the podcast the gauge.
Brandon
Now,
standards
Brandon,
are-
can you please explain the
Oh.
gauge to my listeners?
Okay, now if you're listening to this on the podcast, do like a little put down all your fingers except for your pinky and your thumb, and you're gonna have like this little like V shape in your hand and all that, and then do the same thing with your other hand, and basically turn them so your palms are facing out.
Your thumbs are pointing towards each other.
Touch your thumbs together, and then point your pinkies outwards and all that, and you're gonna have like some sort of measuring device that you've created now. And then
This is the gauge.
I was taught this by my uncle. And now if the girl's
Behind.
derriere does not fit in the said gauge you've made with your hands, it's probably not a good idea to go after her.
And that was the kind of stuff we were dealing with in high school with Brandon.
And now. But
And
I
now.
digress.
Because your standards are ridiculous.
That's why I'm single.
Well, that and your terrible personality.
Well, yeah.
This is actually an intervention. You're an asshole.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's what the banner's for.
The banner's for.
That's why
that's
there's a
why the
therapist
TLC
here.
crew's here. Okay.
So, but anyway,
It's just an episode of intervention.
it's an episode of intervention here on the Hollow Show. But so anyway, Louise,
Louise.
Louise.
do you recall, Brandon, the first time you met Louise?
Trying to get the first time I met her.
Because I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. So that's why I'm starting with
I
you.
have a vague recollection of the first time I met her, but I remember a lot of things, just hanging out with her a lot and all that, but I don't remember specifically the
It was
first time.
through
I met
Mike's girlfriend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, his ex-girlfriend.
her. Yeah.
It's ex
Way back in the day. Girlfriend.
17 X's ago. Mike's had that many X's, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was through, because, like, there was the hallway, and then, like, because there was, like, the emergency door that, like, pointed towards Harvey's.
Yes.
And like the hallway, like you go around the corner and there's like the library door, and that's where we used to hang out before. And that's TJ's legendary guitar spot.
Yep.
But then if you go around the corner by the Harvey's door was where like Mike and his friends would hang out. So like we were all like in the same, like we were all about 10, 15 feet away from each other at the time because it's not like a very big corner.
Yeah.
But like one end was like the Louise hallway, and then the other end was the Audrey Hepburn hallway.
Yes.
And then like there was the Harvey's door, which was my personal favorite spot.
That was
Now,
Garrett's favorite spot.
You knew Louise first, though.
Oh, yeah, from what I recall, I
You
did.
did.
I must have.
Because the first time I ever heard of her was you talking about it. That I remember.
I just remember she just kind of like showed up one day, and I was like, oh.
How you doing?
I was kind of like, oh, hey,
you
what's
doing?
up? How you doing? How you doing? And I thought you were going to go somewhere with that. That's why I stopped.
I mean, you might as well start because you met her first.
So
You saw her first, But
So let me kind of set the scene for you here. There was a girl. Her name is Louise.
for all sakes of argument.
For all sakes of just keeping confidentiality here. And we struck up a friendship pretty quickly. We were basically kind of put together in a sense by other people. They were like, you two need to just like
No,
meet
this
and-
falls back more to the point that me and Brad made in part one, where we said that like you would be so focused on the Audrey Hepburn thing but girls would be
Yes.
attracted
You
to
had
you.
like female tunnel vision where he just like
he
channeled
wouldn't
everything else
notice
out.
that other girls like were into him or wanted to talk to him because of like he's too focused on his perfect hair and guitar
Yes.
playing skills and Audrey Hepburn.
This is exactly what, and my hair.
How times have changed that you
So
were so
like
focused on your
people
hair.
were pushing you two together, Louise and you together. It was more of like, hey, TJ, Louise is into you. You should probably like look, and you'd be like, but this is a C chord.
So yeah, I love
funny
how
'cause it's
literally
true.
that was probably my response.
Yeah.
And the thing is this whole thing, it was at the end of the whole Audrey Hepburn thing.
Yeah.
So I was like,
the
This is
very
okay.
like
end.
grade 11, yeah.
Yeah.
This
So I
is
was like,
senior
okay.
year.
So we start like basically hanging out with friends and stuff, and everyone start pushing us together and so forth. And I'm like, okay, this is a cool girl. Like we get along really well. We have a lot in common. There's music stuff there. Cool, right on. So I start talking to you about it. Obviously, like it wasn't like I was like, oh my god, like I'm like head over heels with this girl. Blah, blah,
By
blah,
you,
blah.
he means Brandon.
Yes, but yeah, talking about Brandon. So then I don't know if I introduced her to you or
Something like that.
something along those lines.
I was eating a Harvey's original burger with bacon.
Literally at this time,
Garrett will, if there's anything Garrett remembers about anything, he'll remember what he was eating at the time.
Harvey's original burger with bacon.
Yeah.
most of the times when stuff was happening with Louise, Garrett was eating a hamburger
Yeah.
It was lunchtime,
because it was always lunchtime.
and I was always hungry.
I think the
You were
reason
always
I think I was introduced to her too is because I lived like a 2-minute walk away from her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that definitely like was part
And she
of
was
it for
new,
sure.
so she's like she's still getting to know people and all that.
So,
So,
but you knew him. You knew Louise through TJ, and TJ knew Louise because Louise kind of had a thing for him, but he was also like really good friendship because they had the same center.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
But this is how it started.
yeah.
That's how the whole thing started. Basically, is
The battle of the bros,
it started with this girl
liking you.
having a
pretty much.
crush on me,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then this developing as me and her developed into friendship. I was kind of like, okay, cool, like she's pretty cool, right on.
And she got you Simple Plan tickets.
Yes,
Because nobody's perfect.
yeah. God damn it! What the fuck? What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Right there, fuck. See,
But does this bring back to that whole point from part one where you mentioned how you get to a point with a girl where it would scare you and you're like, okay.
see, no, and there's so much to this fucking story.
So explain away.
Well, I'm trying. You wouldn't let me.
No.
I think we
Trying
just
to
ruined,
hijack my
we just
podcast
ruined his
again.
reputation by telling
This
like
is
all
part
his
of this-
listeners he went to a Simple Plan concert.
Okay, let me just say this real
For
quick.
all you people who think TJ is metal,
Let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this real quick. I tell everyone my first legit concert was Simple Plan.
it's a
I tell pretty much everyone.
It's a ruse.
I did not go to see Simple Plan.
No.
I went to go see Faber Drive.
Oh,
They had that song, you know, that cool guitar driven song, Second Change, that.
Just stop. Just stop.
Now I'm in second place to get a second chance.
Why are we friends with him?
That's a good question at this point.
Good fucking tune. And Simple Plan were fucking sick, and I got to meet them.
He's just betrayed.
Aren't they from Peterborough?
I don't fucking
He's
know,
just
but they were
betrayed
good
half
dudes.
of his fan base.
They were good dudes. So yes, TJ went to a Simple Plan concert.
Simple Plan is from Quebec, I think.
Yeah, I think yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that happened. That was a thing. I did go see Simple Plan. That all happened.
All thanks to Louise.
Yeah. So, what was I don't even know what I was talking about anymore.
Okay, take it from you went to go see Simple
Okay,
Plan.
so well, no, this was way after this happened. I gotta pull back. So, basically, at this point, I was like, okay, she's a cool girl. I'm attracted to her. Like blah 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 blah. I maybe see something here. I can talk to her.
Surprisingly.
Just an added bonus. And like hung out with her a couple times, kind of like just the two of us. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, cool. This is gonna work. Like this, I think this is gonna work. But I was still very like, I felt something was off, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then there was one day in particular where I basically decided, I was like, okay, today's gonna be the day. I'm gonna basically just ask her straight out what's going on. And that day, at this point, you guys were starting to build a bit of a friendship. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, quite a bit of a friendship. You guys were hanging out quite a bit. And
Because like Brandon said, she lived like 2 doors down.
yeah, literally like 2 doors down. Not 3 doors down, 2 doors down. See what I did there? God damn it.
Anyway,
the music puns are real.
The music puns are reels. So basically, I was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And we're basically at her house talking, and I see where the conversation is going, and I'm like, cool, this is gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna like do this for real. I'm gonna like talk to a girl and be like, hey, do you like me? Yes,
Gonna have
you
the
do.
conversation.
Do you
The
like
conversation.
me? The conversation I've never had before. I'm all excited. And I
The
get a call.
so-called "so" conversation. The
Yes.
"so" where's this going kind of thing.
So like, what are we?
Yeah.
Where are we going? And the thing is I pretty much knew where it was gonna go. So I was like, okay.
You just
He's
wanted
like,
to hear it.
Do it? Did I know 100% certainty? No. But I figured. I'm like, okay. I think I know what this is. So anyway, we're ready to have this conversation, and I get a phone call. It's my father. I'm outside. But like, you said you should pick me up at 6. Well, you're picking me up now. So anyway, I go home, and I'm like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Go home, go on MSN. I go on MSN. Brandon instantly messages me right away.
Oh, MSN.
Hey.
As if I was sitting there waiting for him to come on, which I probably was.
You probably were. Now,
Probably just woke up from your nap.
Yeah, I still take a lot of naps.
it was a Sunday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you would definitely
Naps
have
were
a nap.
happening.
You would definitely have a nap. I mean, we didn't work either.
Yeah, no,
So
that
at this
was
point.
nice.
So definitely naps were happening. But I'm going to turn it over to Brandon. Do you remember what it is you were talking to me
I can't remember the conversation exactly probably as well as you do.
about? Okay, so I will say the conversation.
Like, I know the gist of it, but, like, you probably remember more details than I do.
Yeah, Garrett will come into this conversation.
I just watched him.
He will come in.
It was a Sunday. I was probably having meatballs. I'm kidding.
So obviously, as Garrett just said, he was having meatballs because he usually remembers.
Well, yeah, Sunday dinners were usually meatballs.
This is true. I remember that as well.
Yeah.
The hot,
Because
the
they're
Cole's household.
friggin' fantastic.
I love meatballs.
I get excited.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so
The MSN conversation.
I go on MSN, and Brandon instantly messages me, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" Because you didn't know what I was doing this day.
No.
Because I didn't talk to anyone about this. You're like, "What's up?" "Oh, nothing. Just got home." Cool. So I got to talk to you about something. I'm like, "Okay." It's very serious. I'm like, "Okay." And basically, he's like, "So how good of friends are you and Louise?" And I'm like, I'd say we're pretty good friends. And he's like, "Okay. I like her." I'm like, "Okay,
Those are pretty big words.
cool."
Yeah.
For Brandon?
Yeah, for
Those
Brandon
are
to be like,
massive words.
Yo, I like this girl.
He's like, "Yeah.
And she's a real person.
Yeah. And she's not a pretentious bitch or anything."
Oh, okay.
Or on the internet.
Or, not a character I found on TV. But I digress.
She's not on Power Rangers, basically. Is what
Yeah,
Basically is what we're saying.
I was a Power Rangers geek. Well, is.
Still.
Yeah.
is a power. Are you still going to name one of your children Boulder?
Not Boulder, it's Bridge.
Where the hell did Boulder come from?
I don't know what the hell you're the Boulder.
That's a nice boulder.
That's a nice boulder.
That's some donkey.
Yeah, Bridge, I guess. Sorry, is what you're going to name your child. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And you're like, "Yeah, like I really like this girl." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "What do you think?" So now, me being TJ and him being Brandon and Garrett being Garrett, I was like, damn. What am I going to do? Because I'm like, I can't admit to him, yeah, so like...
Well, you mean you could have.
I could have and made life easier for everybody involved. But I didn't. I made the decision to just hide everything and go,
Secrets.
"Dude, go for it. It is all you." And, well, that was the wrong decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
That was the wrong decision to make. Can you tell me why that was the wrong decision to make, Brandon?
Because she had a thing for you and not me.
And can you tell me why I probably should have just said right off the bat, "Here's what's going on"?
Because I would have stopped going after her and you probably would have ended up dating her.
That's basically
That's the gist of it.
Cut and dry. Pretty
You
fucking...
both have explained this story to me multiple times, and from both perspectives, it's both been like TJ was at like the tipping point with Louise, and Brandon was like, "I would like to get to the tipping point with Louise," and then TJ was just like, "Nope."
So after Brandon and I have this conversation, Louise happens to instant message me, and we're talking, and basically we're like, she was talking to me like a certain way,
How you doing?
and then
man?
I just basically shut down completely and started basically
Being
being
an
a
asshole?
fucking asshole. Because I was like,
Gotta
what else am I
respect
gonna
the
do, bro?
Yeah, but I mean, there's
The bro code.
I mean, the bro code. He could have also put in the bro code into effect by saying, "Hold on, man. Like I got something going on here.
Yes.
Just chill out."
Bro code is a very double-edged sword by that matter.
Yes. I think at the end of the day, it was...
There was two ways it could have gone. We just chose the complete opposite way.
Yes. And that was saying is that was my decision.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. And I mean, looking back, obviously, I'm like, wow, I should have just fucking said what was going on. Am I sitting here going, oh, yeah, we would have been together for fucking... No, absolutely not. But we made it into the thing. I have no idea what would have happened.
Yeah.
But it would have saved a lot of headache for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I digress.
The shitstorm that followed.
Yes. So basically, she's like, okay. And then the next day, basically, I'm like, yeah, so like...
Here's the deal.
We can't hang out anymore. She was like, what? I'm like, yeah, we can't hang anymore. You'll understand eventually. I'm sorry. So I just basically didn't talk to her for like a month. And then, cue poor Brandon, who decides like a couple days later, he's going to basically just start kind of swooping in there.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into that for just a second, Garrett,
Yo.
do you remember...
What I was eating at that time?
Yes.
That would probably have been a Monday, so probably Panzerotti.
Yeah, Panzerotti Mondays.
Yeah.
$5.
Pretty solid deal.
Can we just talk
Chocolate
about
milk.
Can we just talk about actually how good our cafeteria food was for a
Yeah,
second?
our
though?
cafeteria was prime.
Like the lunch ladies at the cafeteria, I had the harder special. Okay, it was a chicken burger, a chicken wrap, and fries. Every single fucking day.
With chocolate milk or Sprite.
And sometimes I would get 2 chicken burgers and a chicken wrap and fries. And they were amazed. Because they would go...
so good.
Because at this point, like, I was, like, hitting the quote-unquote gym every day at lunch. And they're like...
The fitness room.
And, like, I'm, like, watching, like, me actually, like, lose weight. And they're like...
Can we, like, just talk about what that weight room was consisted of? It consisted of, like, a bench press, a leg press, some dumbbells, and, like, an assisted dip machine.
And like 4 treadmills.
Not a treadmill. No, there was
But
there was no treadmills. They were
freaking
freaking...
Oh, yeah,
they were stationary bikes.
Yeah,
That was
stationary
it.
bikes.
And
There was nothing else in there.
Yeah.
and one time I fell
and a
off the
bunch of
stationary
mats.
bike.
Yeah. What's
And
that?
one time I fell off the stationary bike.
Yes, we're
one time
watching
did.
the girls' volleyball.
So
That came out really wrong. But
It's not our fault that the weight room literally had a window.
like literally
out
we're
to the
sitting there
gym.
working out and there's a girls volleyball match.
The girls'
going on. I was
volleyball
like, all right,
practice.
fucking-
Okay, I want to mention that
We
the
weren't
girls'
even
volleyball
mad.
practice happened. Came in after we were already been in
Yes.
the weight room for like half an hour.
Yes.
They invaded our privacy. Okay, it's not our fault. The blinds didn't work on the windows.
I ain't,
And we
Straight
were
up.
doing
I ain't
cardio.
even mad. I ain't even mad.
It is what it is. But
So besides my wonderful Panzerotti, what did you want to
yes,
ask me?
so do you remember from having basically friends with both of us?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about the beginnings of that situation?
I remember having the conversation with you because you didn't tell me that you were going to, because like I think we hung out at like either my house or your house the Friday or Saturday of that weekend, because I think you said earlier, like a couple of minutes ago, that you saw Louise on the Sunday. I think we hung out on the Friday or the Saturday,
Yeah.
just doing the normal little TJ, little Garrett shit of
Well,
playing
see,
video
at
games.
this point, we were like medium-sized emo Garrett.
Yeah,
and,
we're like medium
Well, you
size.
see, you weren't really emo Garrett anymore.
No.
Because at this point, we like...
Yeah, but grade 11, so I was in the whole like wings and from my hat, like my hair was long still, but I was wearing like nicer clothing. Wasn't so
you weren't
angry
dressing
all the
emo
time.
anymore,
I was telling everyone to fuck off a lot.
But you weren't angry.
No, it was just for shits and giggles. But like
Like, hey,
we
fuck off.
The big thing back in those years was like we'd hang out in my basement, which was still like the greatest place to hang out. But we would
still is.
We would find whatever album came out like that month we would listen to. Like I would think it'd be around like the Come Whatever May days or whatever. And I remember hanging out in our
Yeah.
basement and like we would just like put music on and we would just like hang out and just chill and talk because music was our big thing back then. But like whenever you would stop the music is when I knew I would have to pay attention to whatever the fuck we were talking
Pay
about.
attention to what the fuck.
And I do remember you like talking about like hanging out with this girl, but not saying when or everything. It was just like like I've been hanging out with them a lot, and then that was the end of the conversation that I can remember. Like nothing serious or whatever about where it was going.
Yeah.
Whenever TJ would bring up a girl, let alone Audrey or whoever it is, Louise, it doesn't matter. It would be like, okay, I should probably pay attention because he doesn't talk about females that often. But me and Brandon weren't that close. Like we hung out at school, but I don't think we hung out outside of school very often.
Not unless I was around.
Not until like
late high school.
late high school, like just before we graduated.
Yes.
But I remember talking to him at school, and we would just talk music or class or whatever. And so I had no idea about the Brandon, but Brandon was very quiet, and Brandon doesn't get quiet. So Brandon only gets quiet when he's thinking about shit, if he's stressed or if like there's an issue. So if like you've been seeing him like for 2 days in a row, because at your school you see them Monday to Friday, and Brandon's quiet, shit's gonna go down.
Shit's going the fuck down. So
And then I remember coming in on the Monday, like the Sunday after, like the Monday, Tuesday or whatever. And like you two were just both quiet. And I'm like, what?
shit is gonna go down.
So I got a Panzerotti because it's Monday.
That's exactly what you did. So the Monday happened. Me and Louise, our shit kind of hit the fan, I guess, so to speak.
You started asshole TJ.
Basically, I basically made it my mission to be an absolute asshole because I was like, okay, I don't want this person to even remotely be interested in me at all anymore.
And then Brandon's like, I'm gonna see.
So then, unfortunately, Brandon, not his fault at all, decided that like a day or two later, he was basically gonna start pursuing this.
Yeah.
Now, do you recall? I know you recall, but
Being asked to recall a lot of things.
do you recall?
Memory's
I
a bitch.
I feel like I'm interviewing you. Do you, Mr. Brandon? Do you recall this day and this time?
On this day, this time.
It's like,
You be the good cop. I'll be the bad cop.
Kind of how the whole thing like started, like how when you started to kind of go out of your way to like pursue.
yeah, I think like what happened was
Did you start playing guitar in the hallway?
I would join in sometimes, but
So that wasn't your
it
approach?
wasn't for me. It wasn't getting girls for me. It was just like something to do. But I think I remember
See, I was trying to get a record deal. That was why I was doing it.
we were like we talked and all that, and everything was going pretty good. And I probably had like an opportunity somewhere, but like I just didn't do anything.
Just like the whole bathroom scenario?
Yeah, kind of. With me, again, I was very oblivious. So if there was an opportunity, I didn't know when to take it,
No.
or I didn't know how to capitalize on
Yeah.
it, and it would just kind of fizzle out before I could.
Unless you're like
anything
direct,
about it?
like, Brandon, do you want this Twinkie? He doesn't understand what's going on.
I know how to capitalize on food,
Yeah.
especially back then. I knew how to capitalize on food, but when it came
still
to women,
do.
I didn't know how to capitalize on those situations.
I don't
So
either.
I still don't.
exactly, I just
I don't think any.
I don't have any
I don't
knowledge-
think any man anywhere
I don't have
knows
any
how
knowledge
to-
of women at all anymore. To be
Actually.
honest,
I would like to make a point. I have no fucking idea at all. And I've been in a successful relationship for over 4 years. And I have no fucking idea.
So that's a better idea than we have still.
I still have no idea though.
It's still a
It's
better
still a better idea
we
than what
have.
we've got. But the point,
You've been able to like isolate one.
you got to the like you could isolate one. You got Sam chained up in the basement downstairs. But me and
No
me
one
and
knows
Brandon
where
here,
she is.
we couldn't get to the point of the isolation.
She's not actually at work right now.
No, Sam's probably at work.
That's worse.
But like
basement.
what you were saying with Louise is that you could get to the point of being like, okay, this could go somewhere, just like where TJ was, but you had no idea what the hell's going on.
Exactly. I didn't know when to.
You had a generic idea,
Basically,
he
came down to
didn't.
the point of I didn't know when to ask them out. When was the most
Yeah.
opportune time? I would just kind of sit there and be like, I should probably, but
You're kinda pretty.
I shouldn't.
You got a pretty mouth.
Got a pretty mouth.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that either.
Oh, God. But no, seriousness. So basically, that all kind of was coming to a head. And then at this point, her and I, we kind of like started talking again a little bit. I think she kind of like realized, like, okay, I see what was going on and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. So,
Took one for the team.
and then there was a day where everything came to a head. Literally, everything came to a head when I think you finally decided to pull the
Nut
trigger.
up.
Now,
Shut up or shut up.
do you remember everything that
You need a new
happened in that
phrase.
like whole hour?
I remember seeing a lot of red.
Yes.
I think
I'm
I
seeing
ate
a
Subway.
lot of red.
I remember you looking at me like you've never looked at me before.
I think I went to Subway.
Yeah, Garrett was having Subway.
Garrett was not in the cafeteria. I know that for sure.
It's probably one of those days where we went out for lunch, either McDonald's
Subway.
or Subway or
It's
Harvey's.
probably Subway.
Yeah. So basically, trigger was pulled.
And I'm nowhere. I can't help either of you guys.
The bullets were not even in the gun.
No.
It was dropped that indeed I was the one who probably should have been pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And then betrayal.
Was it one of those scenes where it was like, I really like you? She's like, oh, that's too bad. I like TJ. Was that what kind of went down?
First, for lack of a better way of
Yeah,
saying
yeah, it was slightly better put, but so then you got me sitting on the other side of the cafeteria, like kind of like this, my thumbs up, like, yeah,
You can do
go get
it.
it, buddy. And then just the instant look of betrayal and anger.
This motherfucker.
so dumb thinking about it in hindsight because I'm like, it was no fault of your own.
No, but like, I mean, it never like, we the whole thing was sorted out pretty quick, but it was just like, he was like, dude. And I'm like, dude. And you just kind of like was shaking your head and you just walked away. I'm like, oh shit. Shit went down to go find you. Like, yeah, so like, you should have just told me.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And then
The two of you didn't really talk for like a day, I think. Like you guys just gave
It was
each
like
other space
24
for,
it was like
a
24
little,
hours.
It was like
It
the,
wasn't long. Yeah, I think he was more TJ just like letting me.
yeah,
have
you
my
got
temper
you
tantrum.
gave each other space.
Yeah, there was some angry song lyrics in your MSN name, but it's all good,
But actually,
There's
when
still
you
some angry
but
songs.
that's
My MSN names.
Yeah, there
but
still is.
that's my point though, is that like you guys both kind of went through the same scenario, and like you said about the song lyrics, like Bran went home and then you were angry, but you started writing.
Yes.
Like, you guys were both, and you said before, like you would hang out in the hallway while TJ was trying to impress women with his flashy hair and guitar chords. You would play once in a while.
Yeah.
And then you started writing because you would get all messed up with this whole Louise scenario.
Yes. Kind of bringing that into a close and getting into a much more interesting topic, I think.
Yeah, but like that's a huge point. I never ever thought about that. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that that's what kind of gave that push, was that whole Battle of the Bros.
The problem I had with songwriting was I'd write something and 50 minutes later I'd read it and be like, this is garbage.
Hey, just throw it out. And I'm like, that's actually pretty good. And you're like, no.
No.
So,
You're your own worst enemy.
yes. So, coming out of all that, at this point,
Is the urban myth.
we are getting into a topic of conversation. The three of us, at one point, were known as the legendary hard rock post-grunge group, who also changed genres every other week.
Yeah.
About that.
We were Norwegian pirate death metal.
Yeah, that was great.
At one point, we were definitely progressive at one point.
Progressive
we-
Norwegian pirate death metal.
Yeah.
And the name of this legendary group,
That got changed like 4 times before we decided on the final one.
yes,
Which was also, the original name was also progressive Norwegian pirate death metal.
yes,
That was actually the name.
that was literally the name of the band. This
Progressive
band,
Norwegian.
this band was Quarterstone.
Oh god.
Heavily inspired by progressive Norwegian pirate death metal.
Absolutely. Now,
There's a trend.
of course, we're sitting here with Garrett Coles,
Hello.
the drummer.
The formerly known progressive Norwegian pirate death metal.
Drummer.
Formerly known as.
And of course, we have Brandon, who was the lead guitar player / whatever else the fuck.
And that was one
needed.
thing too, is because like you were back then when we were trying to do the music thing so hard. Like we had our specific roles. Like,
Yes.
And here's the thing: like you were musical, but you weren't as like hardcore with the music as he was, and I was musical, but I wasn't on the same like intensity of training and knowledge and everything that you were. But you would always pick rhythm. You had
Yes.
no interest in playing lead guitar.
I still don't.
You still don't.
I could give a flying fuck
But
about
out
it.
of all of us, you're probably like the most music core. Like you could
Sure,
do it if
yeah.
you wanted to.
I just chose not to.
But
Because
instead you're
I
like-
needed to be the front man, Garrett.
Yeah,
Listen.
You wanted to be the front
Listen.
man, but you didn't want to be lead. That was my point.
Listen.
Listen, you motherfucker.
TJ Hodder,
Iceman.
the Iceman TJ Hodder, was the frontman vocalist extraordinaire
Of Quarterstone.
of Quarterstone. And everyone else needed to get
The
in
fuck out of the
fucking
way.
line because it was the TJ Hodder experience.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And that caused some fucking problems. That caused some serious problems because, like, with Quarterstone, because you wanted me to drum because I had a drum set, which was hard to come by in high school.
Basically, it was
days.
like, okay, so
who do we know that has a drum set? Well, Garrett. Okay, that's
Okay,
about
he's
it.
in. He's in.
Because like you two would write together and then not send me shit for like 2 months, and then
because we couldn't really.
I know.
It was
I
like,
know.
how are we supposed to, like, that's another thing when we were jamming.
She heard it on MySpace. Listen to it.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
MySpace was the key.
I DM'd it to you on MySpace.
Oh man, those are the times.
Friggin' MySpace.
With Tom, everyone's
Everybody's
friend Tom. But I remember it was a big deal because like you actually went out of the way. You set up actually when I look back, our MySpace page for Quarterstone was pretty bomb.
You're fucking right, it was.
Like
Very hard
you
on
took
that.
you took some serious time and it looked pretty good. And we actually had a couple of like the tracks that you worked on.
Yes.
We had uploaded, and then
Yes.
like the one time we actually took the time to actually like figure one out. We had one track, didn't we?
No.
Or was that after?
As a band, we never had a full song. As collectively, as a
We
band, we never had a
73,000,
full
like,
song recorded.
tracks that were like 14
like
seconds
individual
long.
parts.
But we never were able to
never-
get a full
Master.
recording together.
Yeah, the full master.
Like drums and guitar and all that. It was never a full thing.
yeah, we could jam them. We just never recorded them.
Yes. Well, see, as Quarterstone, as that incarnation of our band, we never really had a full song.
No.
We had multiple good ideas
Yeah.
and a shit ton of lyrics and a shit ton of fucking
lyrics.
riffs and stuff. We just never had a full song.
Because yeah,
We were the only band that had a MySpace with some decent amount of followers, a Facebook,
Early Facebook.
a full-fledged 5-piece band,
Yeah.
and we never
And
like,
we were doing that thing
recorded a
too, where
song.
we would upload the song lyrics.
Yes.
Before, like all of our MySpace notes were like actual songs, and like
Yes.
all the comments were like, "This is really cool. Where's the music for it?" And
Yes.
we were like, "Later."
It comes later.
These are only
Lyrics.
lyrics. We're just leaking lyrics right now.
We're leaking lyrics right now, bro.
And then there was the whole grade 11 mishap of being like, because you two would go and like record after work or whatever, and then because we didn't have the equipment, like we have 3 mics now. TJ has 3 mics
Yes.
now. We wouldn't have any of this stuff because we're poor as hell.
No, we wouldn't.
But there was the whole one dispute in grade 11, I think it was. It might have been grade 12 actually, where like there was like a month period where you two were like on the same page, like musically, like jam wise. The two of you were just giving it, and either I would be working or whatever, and I'll always be like, okay, cool. Like whenever you get something solid, send it to me, and I'll see what I can do
Yeah.
with it. And then you wouldn't send me shit. And then I remember coming in one day into the cafeteria, and like the two of you are sitting at a different table than the. So we use the same table. Let's talk about that cafeteria for a second. High school. We used that same fucking spot.
Yeah, it was literally
for like
straight.
4
You
years.
walk- you
Literally.
walk in, it was
For
straight
like
in front
4
of the doors.
years. Like we didn't move. That was great. But then I come into one, and you two are at a completely different fucking table,
Yes.
talking music shit. And I go to the normal table and I sit down, and then I think it was Adam actually who was like, "Oh, by the way, TJ wanted to talk to you something real quick." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Left my shit, went over where you guys were sitting, and you guys were you were listening to something. I think it was on one of those old school MP3 players, one like a riff or something you guys wrote, and I think it was you.
Did I even have an MP3 player at that point?
I don't.
Apparently.
it was grade 11.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grade 11,
Yeah,
12.
yeah,
You
yeah,
were.
yeah.
I think it was you who said it, and you said we should talk about this with him, and I went, "What's up?" And you went, "We don't know if you're as dedicated as we want you to be." And there was a
Now,
short.
see, now hang on. Now,
there,
hang
no,
on.
there was a
No,
short
no, no,
period
no, no, no,
where
see,
I just straight up left the
See,
cafeteria.
I'm calling shenanigans here for a second.
You kicked me out of Cornerstone.
When I kicked you out of Cornerstone,
You kicked
I
me
did
out.
it via text. I wasn't.
no,
enough of a
I was in
man.
the fucking cafeteria with you.
It didn't even happen that way though.
I was in the cafeteria with you because I remember being like, "Fuck you guys," and I went to the hallway, the legendary Audrey Hepburn hallway, and I stayed there, and I hung out with.
because I
everyone
recall
else.
this happening via text.
No.
Because I was like literally on the bus, like, yeah, I just don't know if this is gonna work anymore, man.
No, because I distinctly remember Bowden being like, "We should probably talk about this with him."
I don't remember that at all.
How many albums have we put out by that point?
None.
Oh, okay. Just make
We had like
See-
75 tracks.
Yes.
75 tracks.
14-second tracks,
But I wasn't dedicated enough
multiple demos, and that's the thing is
in a high school band.
We
I
decided
wasn't dedicated enough.
because this incarnation of Cornerstone.
It was heartbreaking, man.
Oh, dude, this incarnation of Cornerstone. We ended up as a 5-piece. And we had like 1 or 2 quote unquote jam sessions. One of our members couldn't play their instrument at all. And I'm not talking about Garrett or Brandon or myself. He remained nameless.
Yep.
And another one was way better than we needed him to be.
Yep.
So just nothing happened. And I think it happened once, twice. And then I was like, oh, like this just isn't working. So then,
Because you got to remember, this is the TJ Hodder show.
yes, this is literally, I was like, okay, no, like I'm gonna like reinvent grunge music and bring back the grunge movement. And I can't do this with a band that is not dedicated. So instead of realizing, hey, none of us can play our fucking instruments good enough really together to actually make something happen at this point, instead of just realizing, oh, maybe I'm the issue, maybe I am not good enough at playing my instrument.
Or maybe we should take the time to actually put a decent recording together.
Well, we physically couldn't.
I know, but I was just saying, like, it wasn't just all your fault.
There's multiple things.
Yeah, there were
multiple different things.
multiple
At
issues.
the end of the day,
It was fuck
at
you,
the
get
time,
out.
none of us were really good enough
No.
to make it happen. And I was like, okay, so like,
We were lucky enough to have like a group of friends that were all musically inclined.
Yes.
But the talent and dedication and time, which any high school student has none of,
it just was not going to happen.
this wasn't going to happen.
So
Unless you're devoted.
Brandon and I decided that we were going to go back to our roots of playing like more acoustic based stuff. And I was like,
acoustic guitar jams.
yes. And I was like, okay, like
We don't need
we
you.
don't really need anyone else.
See ya.
So then I was like, okay, so, hey, Eric, thanks, buddy, but sayonara. He was like, okay, whatever.
I'm having chicken
still haven't learned how to
Yeah.
play bass.
And then Aldrin was just kind of like, okay, I don't really care. All
See
right,
ya.
see ya. Sam was like, well, what about Garrett? And I'm like, okay, well, like, Garrett doesn't play guitar.
Nope.
So I just feel like,
See ya.
like unless he's willing to learn how to play guitar. And I'm pretty sure I remember having this conversation with you. We were like, yeah, I learned how to play guitar. And like I think it was like a week. And then I'm like, no, man, the dedication isn't there.
Yeah.
I give it a week, and I'm like, no, the dedication. He was as good as me in like a week, and I'm like, no, the dedication isn't there. So that sparked the I feel like you're not dedicated enough. There's a dude I've known at this point for well over 10 years.
I think I was pissed about it for a solid like 2 days, and then I came back and was like,
So like, what's up?
we're still friends, so
See-
this changes nothing really.
Came back, he's like, oh, hold on, we're in high school.
Oh, wait a second. That's how stupid this actually is. But there is something else I do want to bring up. So that'll happen. So some other stuff happened. Brandon and I talked about on our podcast we did. The whole last day redemption.
Yeah.
You can go back to episode 12 and 13 for those.
Yes, our progressive movement.
Cornerstone built up a bunch of steam, dissolved really quickly, and then morphed into something else entirely.
Yes, a progressive band for some reason.
Yeah.
And then of course,
Kick.
You
yes,
were on
and then Garrett came back into the equation a little bit as
Once
we
you
wrote
realized
a couple.
The
we were like,
acoustic jams.
well, once basically I was like, okay, so I don't want to play acoustic guitar anymore. Once I actually
So we
started
went
learning,
back to our other roots.
that was more after high school and that kind of thing. But after I decided, I keep saying we, like it was like Brandon was like, I really feel like Garrett is not like, no, it was all me. I was like, like
Fuck you, Brandon.
so we
I was just the one that had to change the MySpace page all the time.
yeah. So then it went from 5 people to 2.
The about me.
The about me.
About us, well, we had to fire one of our members the other day.
So meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not dedicated enough.
He's not dedicated enough. We're in grade 11. We're definitely knowing what we're doing here. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good business decision. So
All the best in future endeavors.
yeah, basically that was the thing. So after this happens, Garrett, being someone who's a lyricist, was like, yo,
Here's a bunch
fuck
of
all
shit.
this noise. Here's a bunch of stuff. And then after a while decided, hey,
No, I
fuck
think
all this
what it-
noise.
I think what it was like we were like still doing like the hangouts in my basement or whatever.
Well, sure.
And I remember like having one of them up and you being like, wait, so you're still writing stuff? And I was like, well, yeah. Just because I'm not working musically with you guys doesn't mean I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop.
So I was like, oh, cool. You're going to like do a band? You're like, I don't know, maybe.
Figure
So
some
then
shit out.
you decided, while we had our MySpace page band, you were going to form your own MySpace page
The
band.
MySpace page band.
Judas's Roar.
Yeah.
The fusion hard
Judas
rock
Roar.
metal group.
Because I stole it from Death Magnetic.
You sure did.
Fusion, hardcore, jazz, intersection.
And it was me and Aldred.
core.
Yes, and literally, like, you posted like a whole bunch of stuff, and I got to break your balls about one thing, because I found it so funny.
Yeah.
We had Cornerstone had a song,
Oh, I
quote,
stole
unquote,
one of them, didn't I?
"Fight for Your Life."
Yeah.
Hack alert.
Now, Garrett, a couple days after, this happened maybe once or twice, and I did the same thing, so it's all good and it's funny, and that's why I'm bringing it up. I would go, oh yeah, I wrote this song called "Fight for Your Life," and you'd be like, oh my god, that's so funny. I wrote a song. Like, I'd post it like on MySpace, then like 2 days later, I'm like, yo guys, I wrote the song, and you'd be like, that's so funny because I wrote the song called "Fight," and like it wouldn't be the same song, but it'd be like there'd be some similarities,
themes.
and like I'd just be like, oh,
we had
cool,
similar
okay.
upbringings.
Yeah,
Were
so
Were
yeah,
they
sure,
like
sure.
Rise songs?
Yeah.
It's like metal bands nowadays with the rise. Which
Pretty much, yeah. It's retire, rise, retire, fight. So then when Garrett went ahead and made the Juice's Raw page, he uploaded a bunch of songs.
I think I uploaded like 20.
He uploaded like 20 of them, and there was a lot of them that I was like, okay, these are actually pretty good. But there was at least 1 or 2.
There was 2 that actually
sure,
had,
2.
that actually had like phone audio recording because me and
Yeah.
Aldred recorded. Because I got lucky with Brandon Aldred, the guitarist that.
Not Brendan Baum, the guitarist of Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Big difference there.
Judas's
But
Roar.
his little brother also had a drum set. So me and Aldred actually got like two very rough, very rough
Yeah.
like jams, and we actually were able to put him up,
Yeah.
which were just shit. Like the auto quality was like
So I have to be honest, I don't remember that.
No.
Must have been right near the
no
end.
because
I
we
don't remember
couldn't we had the files, but whenever we would go to upload them, we just wouldn't do
that.
it.
Yeah.
But we would link them because this is before YouTube, before
Yeah.
you could do the whole like this is an audio, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was funny was because like you guys were doing your thing, and then we were just doing it for shits.
Yeah.
Because like you were like, I'm gonna do this, gonna get a record deal, blah 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 blah. Whereas
Well, no, let me stop right there. The record deal was already on the table.
oh, okay,
It was already on the table.
Okay.
I was like, Brandon, we just need to write an album.
Yeah.
It's done deal. We're gonna get a record deal.
But then me and Aldred were at was just like, we didn't want to do anything whenever we hung out except for just
Jam. That's
And
what
then
happened.
we had all this stuff, and I was like, well, here you go, internet. Have fun. Okay,
Yes.
bye.
Yeah. But the things I wanted to bring up. I just think,
Was
I
that,
think it's funny
we
now.
both wrote a song called Fight, and I definitely stole the idea from
Yes. But there was one more. There was one more.
Oh, yeah.
And this one was more like, I think it was more of like, you were over it, but I think you were still kind of like just like you were giving me the finger behind your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I know which one you're talking
because
about.
I wrote a song called Friday Night. And it was a very serious, like, acoustic song about something very specific.
And that bastard Katy Perry stole it from you.
Yes, he did. A fucking bitch. And then Garrett wrote a song.
I forget what it's called.
I recall because you stole the title from a band of a CD compilation. That was a live CD compilation. If I'm remembering this correctly, the song literally, like it wasn't like word for word similar, but it was about the same thing, and it was worded very similar. The only biggest difference is instead of basically saying Friday night, it was one cold night.
Yeah.
And literally, like I had that was the only song I had basically had like a recording of.
Yeah.
And when you like, yeah, I have this song idea, like you would kind of like, yeah, maybe we should do like a feature or something. Like, I mean, we would like talk about that, like just shitting and like, you're like, yeah, I have this song idea, and that was like, dude, that's literally my song. And you're like, no, it's not. Fucking, it's my song, asshole.
Because I think I was there when you were writing it, and then like I had finished up my own idea version of it back at my place, and then when we went to like we both got really excited about it, but then you're like, dude, that's the same thing that you thought of.
Like it was, I think it was more like the lyrics were different enough that it was like okay, could have passed, but it was like, I think when you were kind of like, yeah, I think it's gonna go like this, you were like kind of like singing it, and I was like, that's literally the exact same, and like, no, it's not.
But that's what happens when you get two people
Yeah.
with like similar musical backgrounds and similar writing styles.
Yeah.
Is like you're gonna have a lot of coincidentals.
Well, I mean, now it's funny.
Oh, it's
it's like
hilarious.
it's fucking hilarious, and we ended up
Back
after.
then, though, TJ was getting ready to.
TJ's getting pissed because I was
like-
coming in on his record deal.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you're coming in my fucking record deal. I'm like, yo,
What up,
Brandon,
bro?
we need to change
Respect
our
me,
style
bro.
completely. We can't. If Garrett's gonna start stealing our shit, mind you, I couldn't just go and talk to Garrett about this like
No,
a fucking human
dude,
being
just
because that's just
fucking ask
not.
me.
Yeah, so that was when the like progressive music started, and then basically finishing off kind of the Quarterstone thing, we did end up jamming again before Garrett kind of went away to school.
Yep.
Entirely.
Yep.
For like 7 years. Not actually 7 years, but it's a joke.
Close enough.
5. Close enough. Fuck it.
Can't open the door.
Oh, excuse me. We jammed. Excuse me. Holy crap. Still sick here. We had a couple very cool, serious fucking jams. Very good stuff. Going Down. If anyone remembers that. And Ghosts. If anyone remembers that.
I remember one. I think it was later. It was when we wrote.
Dun, 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 dun,
When you wrote
dun,
Hell?
dun, dun,
I
dun,
don't-
dun,
I
dun,
don't remember names. I remember riffs.
Yeah.
Cool, grungy tune. And there's a bunch of other shit.
There's a bunch of other shit.
At the end of the day, right here, right now, I think we need to make a pact. Right here, right now.
Oh God.
I'm bringing this up right
You know
now,
what happened last
live
time we made a pact with him?
on air at the Harder Show.
Oh, had to have sex with a monkey.
Yeah.
That's not good. You shouldn't talk about your ex-girlfriend like that. But anyway.
Tra-la-la-la-la.
What do you want from us, man?
I think we should go out of our way at some point in the next 30, 40 years. I'm not putting a timestamp on this. We should make a Quarterstone reunion album happen.
How about we make a Quarterstone reunion MySpace page?
How about we
We
make?
talk to Justin Timberlake that he owns that now.
Oh, there you go.
Well, just fucking call him up. Like, yo, you want me on a song?
There's a feature.
I
for you.
say we do one song. We pick one song. I say we make "Fight for Your Life" a thing, and we'll use the original lyrics.
So what we'll do is we'll kind of like put your guys' songs together and call
We'll
it
smack
Fight for
it-
Your Life, and then in brackets, Fight.
I love it. That's the idea. I love it, Maggle. We're going with it.
Maggle.
I love it, Maggle. At the end of the day,
We're fate in the meta.
guys, be sure
The
to
meta.
be sure to keep your eyes out for that Quarterstone reunion tour. Gonna happen.
That'd be terrible.
Between the
But
next 30 to
it's still
40
pretty
years.
great though that like whenever we get like everyone together, like how much music we can still like have.
Oh, hell
fun with.
yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Oh
about this.
sure. I
Just
still love
jamming
music.
random music with people, especially now that I'm actually starting to play with people.
Yeah.
like other people. It's great.
Yeah.
Because like I have friends all over now that like when I go see them, I can just jam random
Yeah.
stuff. It's great.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
But kind of getting ready to wrap up the high school cast here.
Does that mean we have to finish off with like prom and grad?
Yeah,
Oh,
we have to
God.
talk about
I don't
that.
have to be there for that except for the after party, the small after party.
We'll get to
Some idiot
that.
failed math.
Yep.
So Brandon is taking off here.
See ya.
He's leaving. He's in a lint roll because Steve was all over him.
Cats love him.
So talking about grad,
Maintain kayfabe though.
he maintained kayfabe.
Which is
Yeah,
important.
he didn't. Yes, it is very important.
Graduation or prom?
Let's talk about grad first, and we'll end off with prom because you were not at my little prom after party
No, I didn't get the invite because I was
because you were
another
going to the other one. You were
Yeah.
going to the popular kids one.
The one with alcohol.
Yes, and we were at mine. So, what do you remember from grad?
I remember because the joys of being in a small town is like you've been like alphabetically you're next to the same people.
Yes.
So like in grade 7, because my last name is Coles, Coles. Grade 7, I met a girl named Erin Colden because her last name is Cold. And so no matter like through grade 7 to grade 12, like alphabetically, I've always been right after Erin's. Like
Yeah.
whenever you get put together for grad or any assemblies or stuff like that, when they do it by alphabet, you get to like know like the people around you alphabetically. And what I remember from grad is like sitting in that god awful gym. It's hot as friggin' balls,
Hell yeah!
and thinking like, all right, high school's finally friggin' over.
Finally,
And I lean over to Erin and I'm like, can we just like get this over with and get the hell out of here? And she goes, we're Coles. We have to go all the way through the whole alphabet. And I remember like getting up, getting my diploma, being told to sit back down, and then hating my life for another 45 minutes.
that was a long ceremony.
Because like you have to, it's a small school, so we didn't have like the full on like huge like student roster. Like I think
Yeah.
how many people think graduated with us? Like what, 75, 100?
I remember 100 people.
About 100 students graduated. Longest 100 students of my life. Like, because I'm C, so like once I'm done, like
So I'm 8, so I'm at least like kind of in the middle.
you're like halfway, but like I'm in the front half, and it's literally like you get your diploma and you're jacked because you get the little fake, and it's not even the real friggin' thing. You get up there, they hand you that little like rolled up piece of paper with
Yeah.
like the ribbon
There's
on it.
nothing in it.
It's
I'm
literally
like,
something
really?
that says, go
Yeah.
to this room later to get your actual diploma.
Yeah, I unroll it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? God
like-
fucking damn it.
So, but you're jacked because like once you have that little thing in your hand, you're like, yeah, I'm done. Screw you guys.
Excuse me.
But then I have to sit through another 45 minutes, sweating my nuts off, waiting
Yes.
for the glorious, like, as cheesy it is, the hat toss and everything like that. And it's like, okay, can this be done? The whole thing takes like 2 hours.
It does not need to take too
No,
far.
like the whole,
That's
like,
the brutal part.
The ceremony, you could do that whole ceremony, like, okay, everyone's here for grad, everyone sit down, okay, and calling names now. That
Like,
would
okay,
take
now,
45 minutes.
This person, this person, this person, this
Boom,
person.
boom,
Let's
boom,
fucking
boom,
go, guys.
boom.
But like,
And have all the speeches and shit at the end. No, they have speeches
Yes.
at the beginning, speeches after, and then like there's like a reception or whatever where literally everyone just bails.
everyone left at the reception. Everyone was like,
see ya.
ain't about that life. See you later. And one thing I remember from grad was I'm obviously bummed that Brandon wasn't there. That was shenanigans. That was total shenanigans.
You know what I learned after
It was
too?
my own
For
fault.
my sister's generation, which is for anyone who doesn't know, is younger than me. She graduated 2 years later. Theirs was outside.
See, I feel like ours was outside.
I remember being in the gym.
I remember us being outside. I don't know, whatever. Irrelevant stuff. You and I remember stuff so differently sometimes. It's hilarious. But like,
I don't remember because I feel like no, maybe it was outside.
I think we were outside. I feel like we were in the gym. I think
Maybe that's why it was hot as balls.
Yeah.
Because we were outside.
We were outside. I don't know, whatever. Little details. Inside, outside,
It was
tomato,
hot.
tomato.
That's all that matters.
Fucking who cares?
Those gowns suck.
Those guys did suck. And I remember like I had just cut my hair too.
Yeah.
And like everyone was freaking out.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, where is it? Because under your cap. I'm like, no. It's,
Killing the
Left-
business.
I shaved what little facial
Changed
hair
his
I had.
gimmick.
Changes the
I
gimmick.
just total
names.
gimmick change. I went from long haired TJ to back to fat little TJ, like overnight, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" So, grad is what it is. I remember you, me, Adam, and Nathaniel all standing there.
The photos.
The photos.
Because that's one thing about graduation is like, the people actually going through the graduation are like, okay, let's get this done and over with. Graduation is for everyone else. Like the
Yes.
parents, the grandparents, the siblings or whatever. Like, they're more about, oh, take a photo, or oh, like you'll appreciate this later in life. All right, it's been like what, 7 years since we graduated? 7 or 8
Apparently
years.
not long enough.
I still don't care.
I still don't really
I still don't
appreciate
give a
those
fuck.
photos and having to
No.
go through all the bullshit. But the thing I do appreciate was prom.
I was gonna say Arctic Ease back patches.
Arctic Ease cold wraps. Arctic Ease cold wraps isn't. No, I'm not gonna go into Arctic Ease cold wraps.
What about Norwegian pirate metal?
Norwegian
It's
progressive.
progressive Norwegian pirate death metal.
It's cornerstone genre. Come on, get it right, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
You were the drummer. So
Not for long.
He was like, "You're not even Norwegian."
you're not even Norwegian, bro.
Prom was a mess.
Let me tell you a story about prom.
Yes, Brandon, take it away.
I didn't go.
That was a great story.
That was the best story. What were you doing, sir?
I was chilling out on my couch watching the NFL Network.
No, you weren't.
You're at Wendy's.
You were working. You were at Wendy's.
Yeah, I was working at Wendy's at the time. Yes, that's
I
right.
apologize. No, you were not.
No, I was,
You
'cause I
worked
had-
the next morning.
I had to. No, I worked both
Oh yeah.
because I worked 12 to 8 because we didn't have school that day.
No.
So I was at Wendy's. I worked 12 to 8, and then I came to your place after I was done work, and then I went back the next
Actually,
morning.
no, we did have school that day, but no one, all the
Literally
grades from
no
the
one
9,
came.
10s, and 11s had to go.
Because
The
they had
12s,
they had
'cause
delayed
the girls-
exams. We already had our exams.
Yeah, we
finished.
had our exams, but the girls were allowed the day off because they had to get ready. And I remember, like, because I went, and, like, literally, I remember playing Guitar Hero in, like, the classrooms with, like, the 6 other students that are there, and then it's literally, like, just one giant spare day, and then they send you home at lunch. And it was great, because, like, all the younger, like, grades are like, why are all the senior students gone? And the girls are all getting ready, their hair appointments or whatever, blah, blah, blah. The
I had
guys are
my
just
hair
like,
appointment as well.
guys are just like, whatever. I'm gonna play some video games.
It's what it is. I'm gonna break kayfabe here. I actually had a hair appointment for prom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had long hair.
Yeah, I had long hair and I
Yeah, but
got
so
it
You had to
trimmed.
make it more
Which came first,
majestic.
graduation or prom?
Prom. Prom.
Well, prom did.
yeah.
I didn't go to either. I don't remember these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of going backwards, but I want to end off with the prom after party at my house. That's why I want to end this segment
That
segment
I was
off
there
here.
for.
Yes.
Prom for me was weird because, like, I'll get mine out of the way because it's real quick because your stories are funnier because I actually went to a different prom party after prom. Prom
Yes.
itself, no one cares about. It's the after.
Really
Like,
kind of
you get the photos beforehand when you all look sharp as hell, which we all did, except for Brandon because he was wearing a Wendy's uniform.
Look great.
I look pretty sharp.
Yeah.
I will admit I look pretty good in a
It's
suit.
like the first time you get to wear a suit, really.
yeah,
too.
I was like, ooh, I'm wearing a suit.
Yeah, you look nice. Or in Adam's case, a very nice vest.
Yes. Well, that's okay. I remember
Adam
Simeon
can
was
rock a
wearing like a
vest.
friggin' like jean vest or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember, wasn't he wearing something really random?
Simeon DeVries.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just wearing like a black shirt, but it was like done open or whatever because he was like one of those early gym fiends. He was jacked as hell.
Yeah, he was like jacked as shit, so he's like, oh, I'm gonna like open my shirt up. I'm like, oh, fair enough.
But like no one really cares. You get all that out of the way. You get all the weird dance because it's still a high school dance, so you know it's still awkward.
it's still
as hell.
awkward as shit.
You're doing that.
It's the after party that's what
that
matters.
slow dance
And my
where
after
you're
party, I
3
can
feet
wrap
away
my
from the
after
girl.
party up really quick because it wasn't like one I hosted. I went to someone's. I went to Matt
Yes,
Fields,
the big
And
one.
the big one, the one where everyone went to except for you guys.
Yes.
And
Yeah, there was more people who didn't go.
Yeah, but mine was summed up. My recently ex-girlfriend was there. It was the first time I ever got to really like drink, which was kind of nice. But in the sense of that, like you're drinking with friends and everyone's
Speaking of the snowball, effect,
everyone's in all good. You're not wrong. He's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. First time I really got to drink,
But
and
then
then
Alex and Katie were there, and it was the first time I got to see them like intoxicated and see that kind of relationship budding into what it is now. They're
Yes.
basically married. But like, I remember like getting onto like everyone was so happy about prom because it's basically signifying like the end of high school, and everyone was like treating each other with more respect, but at the same time, just being weird because they had been drinking. But I remember thinking at that after party, I wish I was with you guys because I knew at that point that you were doing your own thing.
Yeah.
But I was still having a good time, but it was just like, this would be even better if I was with people that I was actually friends with.
Yes.
Because it was fun. But I just remember sitting on a couch with Brandon Harris that was on fire. For some reason, that sticks in my head. Climbing on the couch on the bonfire.
Climbing on a couch on a bonfire. That was Garrett's prom after party.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
That sounds like a pretty good time.
It was pretty nuts, I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Brian got really drunk like he always does.
Sounds like Brian.
Yeah.
So,
But yours, though,
speaking of a snowball effect,
yours has some legends.
yes.
Yours has some tales.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Harder Show prom after party. That's right. The Harder Show prom after party consisted of 5 people.
yeah, I think so.
I went out of my way to make sure Brandon did not spend his prom evening after work alone.
Yep.
Because I was like,
And I
that's
appreciate
lame.
that.
That's lame. He didn't go to prom for reasons. We're not going to get into that. reasons and so forth. So I was like, yo, dude, I'm going to have some people over. We're going to have a fire. It's going to be a good time. So the crew consisted of myself, you,
Yep.
Mike Dundas, Adam,
Yep.
and Nathaniel,
Yep.
and Brennan Alder.
Oh yeah, that's right. Brennan was there too.
Yes. Now, you were pretty grumpy. You were
Yeah.
pretty grumpy.
I was in a little. I was still seeing red. Let's put it that way.
Yes, you were still seeing red. So you basically got off work. We were all hanging out, having a good time. Mike was being a goof. Adam was being a goof. And we were all hanging out. And Brennan drove at this point. Now, this is important.
Because, like, not many people had their license
Yes.
then.
So at one point, they all left. And it was just like me and Nathaniel. And he was basically just like, yeah, I don't know why I'm here. See ya. I was like, okay. That's basically the last time I saw him. And I was like, okay.
Lives across the street. Last time I saw him.
So I was like, okay, dude, thanks for,
See ya.
10 years. Right? Peace out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nathaniel. And they all came back. And I think they went to go get you. I think that's what happened.
Possibly.
Whatever. So we're all hanging out, having a good time at the bonfire. And there was shenanigans. We were not drinking.
No.
Which is something interesting to state because my mom was like, you guys can drink if you want. Mm-hmm. But like,
and we drank
I'm
soda.
setting a limit. Oh, we drank soda and we ate chips. It was literally, and I say this with pride, a total nerd loser prom after party.
Yeah.
Hosted by yours truly.
But from what I've heard, it was a blast.
Oh yeah.
We had so much fun. We
They're
just
all hopped up on caffeine and salt.
and it was just it was amazing. And unfortunately, Brandon was grumpy. But
I had a
I
couple
think
Cokes
we
and I
had the
got over it.
we had the RV at
Yeah,
the
we had
time.
the
My
fifth
parents
wheel,
we had the
yeah.
fifth wheel, so everyone had a place to crash, which was cool.
It's like TJ had his own little apartment. We just
Oh, it
all
was
stayed in there
great.
all night.
We all stayed in there, hung out, and we had the fire going. It was great. From what I can recall, I think Mike was jumping over the fire.
Yeah.
Adam was singing.
Yeah.
It got to a point where
I think he was trying to rap.
yes.
He was going through a rap kick at that
So do you
point.
remember anything else? Because like, I'm trying to remember. I remember one thing specifically.
We ate a lot of hot dogs because we
we
were
ate a
doing
lot.
like spider weenies. Those are fun.
Spiderwing.
A lot of marshmallows.
Yeah, it was basically like
We did s'mores at one point.
yes. It was a good
These-
time.
These are the things I'm remembering.
It was a good time to the end of high school for a lot of us because being that we were all good kids, some of us felt, hey, we wouldn't go to this prom after party and like drink and stuff like that because we're just not like that. Like, why would we do that anyway?
Yeah.
I think like Mike was really the only one who was kind of like, why are we not there? I want to go. And then we were like, all right, see you later. And he was like, I don't want to go. And then the night slowly started coming to a close. I think you were the first to pass out because you were like, yeah, I got to work at like 7 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. So you go to bed. Adam goes to bed. Mike goes to bed. Nathaniel's gone at this point. Long gone. And it was just me and Brennan, actually. And we stayed up all night at the fire. Just chatting. Good times, had by all. And the thing to take away from this story here on the Harder Show is something we lived by. Mainly you and I, mainly Brandon, because that was kind of like our motto, because we basically saw ourselves as straight edge, even though we really weren't. Not that Garrett didn't, but he drank.
After that
at some
after
point.
party, it all went downhill.
Oh, dude, he just became a fucking alcoholic.
I don't know. Everyone always, like, I see where you're going with the whole straight edge thing, but at the same time, like, for me in high school, like, once I got over that whole friggin' early onset anger issues.
Complete alcoholic.
No, not even that. It's just that,
Few alcohols.
for me, it was like, I stopped giving a fuck. Like, I really didn't. Like, going to the after party and drinking, who cares what people think? Like, I normally don't hang out with this group of people, but like a large group of like people that we knew, like from like the hallway.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like it was a huge social gathering, and I was invited, and like at the time, you didn't have that planned yet,
Yes.
and I had already said that I was going to go to that party, so I was like, okay, you know. Then you told me like as
It was,
I,
yeah, it was very last
it
minute.
was very last minute, and I was like, dude, I would if you had told me earlier, 100% yes, but I already said I was going to go, and I'm kind of looking forward to it, so I'm going to go to the other party anyway.
Yes.
And it wasn't that I was trying to be straight edge or whatever and drink. Because I don't think I drank that much, to be honest. I think
No. It was just.
I think only I brought. But what I was saying is that like I think for me it was more about just having that after party experience, like
Yes.
the typical high schooler
Yeah.
after party experience for me.
As far as it was like, we don't need alcohol to have a good time.
Yeah,
And that is the thing to take away from all this stuff, folks, is to have a good time.
You do what
In
you
your
want
You
to
need
do.
copious amounts of alcohol.
You do.
No, you should just,
You
if you want to have a
do-
good time, you should do whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Yes. All you need is your friends.
And some copious amounts of alcohol.
Or
And
salt.
Or salt.
copious amounts of alcohol,
Or just
salt,
jugs of Coca-Cola.
jugs of Coca-Cola, and salt. And that's a horrible way to end off this podcast, but
There's got to be a better way we can.
there's got to be a better way. What else can we talk about from high school real quick? What I don't got anything else left in the tank.
Well, you did mention that Brennan drove.
Oh, that's a good place to end it off right there.
Yes.
The tale of what happened the
Oh,
next
yes.
morning.
Yes, we'll end it off with this tale here.
Our collective hangovers.
Yes, our sugar pop hangovers. Because me and Brendan literally stayed up all night.
Which is the thing, by the way.
Oh, it sure
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
We felt like shit. We were literally,
Gut
and like
rot.
we were so cold.
So
it was
cold.
It was the middle of summer, but it was cold.
It was a cold morning. Yeah, cold night,
So
cold morning.
we were like in Brennan's car, and like Brennan was in a horrible mood. We dropped you off at work, and we were going somewhere to do something, and Adam was pissing off Brennan so much. I wish I could remember why.
It was because he was talking about how it shouldn't take so long to
Oh
open
yeah,
up a
yeah, yeah,
Wendy's.
yeah. That's right. And
Because at this point, Brennan's worked at Wendy's for like 3 years.
He is the king.
and literally,
It was
Brennan
prepping
pulls-
salads.
Yes,
It was about prepping
And-
salads.
And literally, Brennan pulled over the car. It was like, get out.
Get the fuck
I
out.
was like, what? He's like, get out.
And like between your and Adam's house.
Yeah, like it was close up to Adam's house, so like Adam was like, okay, I'll just walk. Like it was Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
He was literally just like, okay, like let's fucking
Yeah.
walk.
But you-
and like he didn't understand that Brendan was angry, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like that's Adam.
Like, the thing is too is like Adam's the kind of person like I've had people meet Adam like in the recent years, and it's like, how the hell are you friends with this guy? And I always had the same response. I grew up with him. I'm used to it.
Yeah,
I,
it's Adam.
I like his sense of humor. He's a good guy.
2027's
And-
Man of the Year.
Yep.
He can piss people off really easy. And then you get people like Brennan, who like I'm not really close with Brennan, but like I was in high school, and like Brennan's always like the melancholy, like yeah guys, okay, whatever. Like he was always like in an average mood. Like he was never either pissed off or like upset or overly happy. He was just Brennan. He was just
He was
average.
chilling.
To see Adam piss, and they were close. Like Brennan and Adam were
Yeah.
close. To see Adam push Brennan to that, to hear about that the next morning, be like, yeah, Brennan kicked Adam out of his car. I was like, what?
It was pretty
What?
funny.
What?
And from there, our lives started.
Terribly.
Absolute fucking train wreck for me.
You worked at a music store. You worked at a Wendy's for another 8 years. I went to school.
For like another 10
Yeah,
years.
like another 10 years. I'm still in school. But, you know,
I'm not, thank God.
the stuff we did in
Same.
high school kind of built those foundations, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the people we were in high school is as different as we are now and as similar as we are now in some regards.
Yeah.
There's one thing that remains, and that's that we are the best friends that anyone could have. We are. Come on, really?
No, here's what we're
It's
going
the
to do.
3 best friends I
We're gonna-
Oh, that's yeah, duh.
You fucked up your own joke.
I fucked up.
So
my
here's
own
what we're
joke.
going to do. We're going to kill you. We're going to take over this podcast. This is now the Sons of Jim podcast, as we stated in part 1. Sons of Jim.
Cast.
What
Sons of
up?
Jim cast.
Get out.
R.I.P. DJ. All right, so concludes my Isn't High School Awkward podcast with Brandon and Garrett. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1 and part 2. I know I did. It was really fun to make. I wish that I wasn't sick and that Garrett wasn't also sick. It would have probably, made things a little bit better with the whole coughing fits and so on and so forth. So I apologize. It got to a point where editing them out was just, it was insane. Like literally in part 2 here, because we had been talking for well over an hour at this point, the coughing fits for me just got like every 5 minutes, and that doesn't seem too bad to edit, but the problem is when you're having a coughing fit quietly as you can when someone's talking, editing that out with the software I have is just not going to happen. So I apologize, guys, for anyone who did not enjoy that, those little coughing fits there. I do sincerely apologize. I did my best to edit as many as the matters I could. There was a lot more, and I edited them out, so I guess we should be thankful for that. But that was a lot of fun to make. Taking a stroll down memory lane with those guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to hit me up and let me know what you thought. If you are listening on the SoundCloud, be sure to leave a like on this podcast. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment, all that kind of fun stuff. Be sure to follow The Harder Show to keep up with everything that I am doing on SoundCloud. Just doing, if you don't have an account, be sure to make one up. It's quick, it's easy. SoundCloud is an awesome app to use. Just download it. It's 100% free. It does not use a lot of data, if anything, which is something I have come to love about SoundCloud. That's why SoundCloud is my the main thing I use for the Harder Show, just because it is so easy to use. If you're listening on the YouTube, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, a dislike for this video, depending on what you thought about it. Be sure to comment your life away. I love to talk to you guys in the comment section. Doesn't happen as much, but I would love to kind of get that kind of chatter going. If you are listening on the iTunes, which you guys know is the easiest way to listen to the Harder Show, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave a rating and a comment so that I know who you are, who you left a rating. Obviously, I appreciate the 5-star ratings very, very much. We are sitting solid at 10 5-star ratings, and I do appreciate that so very much, everybody. But even if you didn't like the podcast, if there's stuff you think I can improve on, you think there's stuff I should do differently, so on and so forth, if you have any suggestions at all, be sure to leave a rating and comment. If you just leave me a 1-star rating, I'm going to go, well, damn, what did I do to deserve this 1-star rating? I'd like to know. I do work very hard on the podcast, but I am not a professional by any means, even though this is a future award-winning podcast. As I always joke around with everybody, it's kind of the inside joke around here at the Harder Show. So if anyone ever has any suggestions or anything like that, please feel free to let me know. I'm always open to constructive criticisms, but don't just leave me a 1-star rating and then a comment saying this podcast sucks or something like that. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So definitely be sure to subscribe to the iTunes, because once you subscribe to the iTunes, it will automatically be downloaded every Thursday and Sunday right to any of your devices, depending on if you have it on your iPod, your iPad, your Mac, your iPhone, however you got iTunes. It will download every time I upload them right to your device. You turn it on, oh, Harder Show, cool. You don't even have to think about it. So that is going to do it for me here today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Harder Show today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Be sure to keep an eye out for the live cast on Facebook. Already got a good little following going, a good amount of people saying that they are going. A lot of people saying they are interested in it. Be sure to let me know if you actually want to be involved with it or not. It's going to be pretty much strictly just a hangout Q&A kind of deal this time. Last time I had a kind of had a structure I was going to follow and talk about stuff, and it ended up just being me hanging out with people in the chat, because that's so much more fun. I think you guys enjoyed that a little bit more as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Again, that is going to be July 28th at 8 p.m. live on YouTube. Things are still subject to change as of right now. Unfortunately, it is as of right now, nothing's up in the air. That is the date and the time and everything, but there is a very small change that could always change. I know I'm available, but of course I am also relying on my producer, Mr. Brandon Bowden, and he is a busy man. So we'll see what happens, but everything should be good. So I will talk to you guys, not then. I got 2 more podcasts coming up. I got another week before then. So I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Thank you very much. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day and what's left of your weekend. And I will catch you guys next time on The Harder Show. Take it easy.